Hi everyone, welcome back to Our World TV. If you're not familiar with the Watts case, we have several videos outlining this case. Links are in the description box down below. Chris Watts made a chilling television appearance to beg the public for the safe return of his wife, 34-year-old Shanann Watts, and his two daughters, 4-year-old Bella Watts and 3-year-old Celeste Watts, before he was taken into police custody. "My heart is racing a mile a minute," Watts told reporters just hours before he was arrested. "It's not something I could ever fathom what would happen in my lifetime, and I have no inclination of where she is."
I mean, my heart's racing a mile a minute. I mean, just everything that's happening the last few days it's earth-shattering.
"My kids are my life. Those smiles light up my life," he added.
Yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And just like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that, or you're not gonna get your dessert, and just like you're not gonna get your snack after. I miss that. Like,
when convicted killer Christopher Watts spoke to Denver 7 reporter Thomas Hoppo and then later to investigators in August 2018, it was what he did not say and do that raised a lot of eyebrows. His insistence that he wanted his family back and that his pregnant wife and 2 young girls' disappearance was tearing him apart, and yet it would have been more than convincing if he had shown even a shed of emotion in those televised interviews.
I want everybody to just come home. Right, wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
What would you like to tell your wife and kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
That's it. I can take that mic off you.
Even as Weld County homicide detectives interrogated Watts, getting the husband and father to show even a little emotion over the murder of his family was a challenge.
Concern that he professed to have for his wife and kids seemed very feigned, seemed very cold and calculated. Even though people grieved differently, he was so extraordinarily calm and was internally inconsistent in what he was saying and how he was saying it, that it raised a lot of red flags. It just really struck everyone as, what in the world is going on?
That is, until Watts finally confessed, then tears poured like rain. He was caught. Who was Christopher Lee Watts in the moments leading up to and after he suffocated his wife and kids? And this question was put to police psychology experts who analyzed Chris Watts and the lies he told for more than 2 months about the disappearance of his family, and it began with that first interview by Denver 7 on Watts' front porch.
Journalists, we can only report the facts, we don't speculate. But after we did that interview, me and my photographer were a little weirded out.
The right words seemed to be coming out of his mouth. He seemed to be saying the right things, but the way he was saying it, I think, struck everyone as particularly cold, particularly emotionless.
As the police psychology experts watched the interview, they immediately saw something very unusual for a man coming to the realization that his wife and 2 girls are gone. His demeanor, his body language, and emotionless, unaffected, and almost scripted speech was telling. It gave him away.
I want them wherever they're at. Like, I have no inclination to where they're at right now. Like, it's like it vanished. Like, she's not. Like, when I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. I have no idea like where they went. And it's just earth-shattering. I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from. I just want people to know that I want my family back. Like, I want them safe, and I want them here. Like, this house is not the same. I mean, last night was traumatic. Last night was, I can't really stay in this house again, like, with nobody here. And last night I wanted that knock on the door. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see this kid just running, just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. But that didn't happen. It's like that's why I want everybody back. That's why I need everybody back here. I need everybody safe.
Chris Watts' lies and ever-evolving story gave the police psychology experts a very clear picture of who he is and why he saw murder as the best way to get what he wants. They also believe Watts' decision to give the reporter Thomas Hoppo that impromptu interview on his porch was a textbook attempt to show homicide detectives that he was just a regular guy trying to help his family. Which leads us into the interrogation room at the Weld County Sheriff's Office and the unraveling of a killer's account. Detectives spent hours trying to get Watts to confess to his crimes. His demeanor never changed. He repeated that he wanted Shanann and the girls to come home. Detectives kept telling Watts he knows that's not going to happen. When detectives showed Watts several family pictures, there was no emotional response. No tears when he's talking about killing the girls. No tears. The only time when we saw tears is when they were talking about what was going to happen to him. Watts had one more trick up his sleeve. In a desperate attempt to stay in control, his story changed dramatically. Now, instead of simply not knowing what happened to his wife and 2 girls, he explained to his own father and detectives in the room that Shanann killed the girls after she discovered Chris wanted a divorce. In turn, he killed Shanann in a fit of rage over her actions. Once again, no one was buying the story. Well, it's desperation, police experts explained. I'm getting caught, so I gotta come up with something. She killed the kids. I freaked out. Watts showed his first sign of emotion when reality set in. That is why he was crying, because he got caught. That is the first time you saw any emotion, but there was no emotion seen when his family was killed. Following Chris Watts' confession, he was offered lunch. When people suffer trauma, when they lose somebody, they lose their appetite. Yet he ordered a pizza. He had just explained how he stuffed his children into tanks of oil and water at their burial place, and still coldly asked for a pizza. He had no remorse, only for himself. A body language expert has weighed in on the demeanor of Chris Watts as he spoke to reporters to plead for the safe return of his wife and kids, just hours before he was arrested for their deaths. Body language expert Tracy Brown spoke about Watts' demeanor and said she was able to observe signs of deception right away. He rolled his lips back over his teeth a lot. You see his lips disappear? She told the station, referencing footage of Watts' recent interview. That's a telltale for someone who knows more than they're saying. He clearly knew then, and he was trying to hold back, and the whole thing unraveled on him.
I spoke to a local body language expert, Tracy Brown, via FaceTime today. She says there were signs of deception from Chris Watts right away.
He rolled his lips back over his teeth a lot. You see his lips disappear, and that's a telltale for someone who knows more than what they're saying. When you go like that, and he does it a lot, there's more to say. So he clearly knew then, and he was trying to hold back, and the whole thing unraveled on him when we got into interrogation.
I asked Tracy if she was surprised at how quickly Watts ended up confessing to the murders.
It did surprise me because with all my studies that I've done with law enforcement and the FBI, a lot of times it takes quite a bit of questioning, quite a bit of tightening the noose mentally on folks to get them to confess. And I've only seen very rare cases where people just melt down.
Chris Watts is a psychopath with narcissistic tendencies. He wanted a new life, and his family was a hindrance. He could have divorced Shanann, but he chose a destructive path and got rid of his family in a horrific way and showed no sign of remorse. The beginning of his undoing is his demeanor. When he lied to authorities, his cold, emotionless behavior and body language gave him away. He didn't have any signs of psychosis, and it clearly was not a crime of passion. It was thought out, calculated. He's a cold-blooded killer. but a first-time killer, and his inexperience is ultimately what would get him caught. Even if he had not confessed, the cards were stacked against him and he knew it. Thank you so much for watching. Please share your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. We would really love to hear from you and connect with you guys. Join us on Our World TV and hit the subscribe button today. Hit that little bell notification so that you can get notified as soon as we upload a video. Please join us on Twitter, as we're sharing lots of information on Twitter on what we're up to. Don't forget to smash that like button so it lets us know how much you really enjoy our videos. If you know of another case that you would like us to report on, please send us an email, link in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. Much love from our world to yours.